So this right here is a video by Kago, and it's a video again about TBC, and it's about Phase 2. We absolutely need the post-nerf Phase 2. This is gonna be a controversial one. I think people are gonna have a bunch of opinions on this. Like you're just sparking an old debate that we had from before TBC came out. The pre-nerf versus post-nerf crowd. It's time to get into battle again, okay? Should we get post-nerf or pre-nerf Phase 2? Let's find out what he has to say.
Good morning, evening, or afternoon, everybody. Today I wanted to take the time to talk about Phase 2 being post-nerf. We have found a very recent thread that is blowing up. I already covered another one that, talked about a few points, but this one really dives into more the culture of Anniversary, how players are feeling, what's really driving them and what they're getting after, and I really think that it is truly something that we should absolutely talk about. I'm on the side of post-nerf just because I've seen so much bad here in Anniversary. I've seen the player base is not what it used to be. It is super accelerated, and we are V-lining full speed ahead right towards that and the acceleration and going to what's next, and it's just I don't see a world where it going to post-nerf after we did, or it going to pre-nerf after we did post-nerf tier 4 would be healthy for the game in any aspect or regard. So I'm going to flip it over now and dive right into it. So I'll see you then. Voop. So here is the wonderful thread, and it says, keep Phase 2 post-nerf. I hear so many people complaining and asking for pre-nerf Phase 2, and I feel like it's coming from deep nostalgia and not reality. I am a sweaty player.
Here's the thing, I hope they keep post-nerf, because, if you're going to, they should just make a decision, right? Either the entire TBC Anniversary is post-nerf, or the entirety is pre-nerf. And I feel like they've already done that. I think the decision they have made is for this to be a post-nerf TBC. The one change I want to see is to give us post-nerf heroic dungeons as well. Because right now in Phase 1, we have post-nerf raids and pre-nerf heroic dungeons. I want to see both go to post-nerf now. Make heroic dungeons more accessible now that we have had TBC for a couple of months. That's the bigger change that I want to see.
Have been for years, and I love it, but I can also zoom out and see the differences this time around and why post-nerf makes the most sense for players and this version of WoW specifically. The first point, TBC Classic is running at a significantly faster cadence, and if we're going to have...
I will say though, is it really going on a significantly faster cadence? Because right now, we are 2 months into the Burning Crusade. More than 2 months as well into the Burning Crusade, and we don't even have a Phase 2 release date yet. So based on that, if we don't even have a Phase 2 release date, we have to assume that Phase 2 is a month away still, so 3 months per phase. I don't think it's that accelerated in that case, man, if it's 3 months per phase.
Have the raids for less time, we need to be able to clear faster accordingly. Absolutely, aside from the player skill, the community, who's playing the game, all those factors out the window, it being a 10-month TBC is what I'm going to always call it, because we're getting Sunwell in autumn, and we will that'll be after BlizzCon, where we know we're either going to Wrath or we are going to Classic Plus. Those are the two choices on the table right now, and it is so much faster than we've ever...
You know what I think they're doing, by the way? I think they are scrapping Classic Plus, it's not happening. They are also scrapping Wrath Anniversary, that's not happening either. And they are fully focusing on Warlords of Draenor Classic. That is the real future of Classic, man. And not like Warlords Plus, by the way, just recreating Warlords. The exact Warlords content, 1-to-1 replica. That's where all the focus is right now.
Seen. So making this stuff easy, being able to get gear, and everyone being able to participate and have fun is very, very important. Loot is already a problem. Having the content take longer for the player base to clear just means player will be stuck in old gear for even longer. Once again, yes, because of how loot in TBC goes, you're getting. I mean, I have a weekly Karazhan healer loot counter, and it's usually around 8 to 9 pieces of healer loot every Karazhan, and that really sucks when each boss only drops 2 pieces of gear. So the really key pieces that you want, you just may never drop. Like on my druid, I still need all the loot off of Ilhoof. I've only seen one Romeo and Juliet play, and it did not drop the trinket. We have only seen one Edgewalker boots, and I still need Grips of Deafness, and I have not missed a single Karazhan lockout. And the thing is like, sure, Edgewalkers are contested, but everything else is uncontested for a Feral Druid. Like, it should just go to your Feral Druid tank, and it just hasn't dropped yet, and that just really is a crappy feeling, to say the least. And so people are already struggling to get loot. We haven't seen a single DST in my Druid's run on Wednesday. In our main run, not a single DST has dropped yet. In our other run, we have 2. On the Saturday team, we've gotten 2. But seeing 2 DSTs in 16 runs is really, really crappy. And DST is like a game bis item for everyone that can use it. And especially this TBC has become a very big concern, and people are quitting the game over it. Then we have Phase 2 raids are significantly more complex, and there are just more bosses to have to learn. Absolutely true. I mean, they're not really that crazy. It is classic. We're not at the point of heroic content. We're nowhere near anything that's actually that hard to do. However, it is mechanics, it is moving parts, and honestly...
Oh yeah, dude, like, it's classic raids, but Phase 2 raids are significantly harder than Phase 1 raids. Karazhan is pretty much known. Like, every single start of the expansion raid is always easy, like Molten Core Classic as well. If you compare Molten Core Classic to Ankiraj or Naxxramas, there's a jump in difficulty there. Same thing goes for, in this case, Karazhan to any Phase 2 raids or anything later in TBC as well. And go to Wrath, zoom to Wrath as well, and talk about Naxxramas in Wrath, the opening raid. People went in there. The only people that need to have a gear before going in are tanks. If they are defense capped, you're fine. That's all you need. You can even have a healer who has just dinged, as long as you have 2 priests for the mind control. Right? There's no super tight DPS checks, there's no super tight healing checks. It's just mechanics and having the mind controls in place.
The trash. Like...
So comparing that to ICC, for example, or even before we get heroic raids, just compare it to any other Wrath raid, difficulty. Like, the first raid is always easy.
The trash in SSC and TK, it being post-nerf or pre-nerf, will save you like an hour of the game, because if it's nerfed, you can just blast through it. If it's nerfed, you don't need resistances at all, but if it is pre-nerf, you're gonna need resistances. The trash freaking hurts. You're gonna be popping faps, popping all kinds of things just to clear trash, and it is a pain in the butt if it is pre-nerf. Then we have pre-nerf was hard. While some players come from retail and some from MOP, many players here do not want to do meta specs or play at a very high level. While I respect that choice, and this is exactly the game for them, it does mean that pre-nerf Phase 2 may be out of their reach. Absolutely. If you're not consuming, you're not sweating, you're not doing it, pre-nerf, like, the mechanics just hit. Like, it's not like hard mechanics to do, it's just you have to be pressing the proper buttons at the proper time. There are mechanics in there that will simply just beat your butt and kill you, one-shot you dead if you're not mitigating them properly as a tank, and that usually means using things coming with specific gear sets, and pre-nerf and post-nerf just makes that all go away. Gives you a ton more leeway to accomplish it. We are a much older player base than this was first released, and the majority of us being in a significantly different life stage, raiding 2 or 3 days a week to get through both raids will not be feasible. Absolutely agree with this.
I still really hope that we get the choice, by the way. Put in an NPC that allows us to flip the difficulty before starting the raid. Just like Molten Core in Season of Discovery, having, what is it called again? Heat level 1, Heat level 2, and Heat level 3. Do the same thing in TBC Anniversary, with pre-nerf and post-nerf. So, you want to incentivize people as well to do pre-nerf, and people right now are complaining about not getting enough loot. So give us the option to raid the raids in a post-nerf state, giving the same loot they give now, or raid in a pre-nerf state and give plus 50% loot. So in 25-man, where you get two pieces of loot per boss, that would be plus 1 piece per boss. And in 10-man, it would be a 50% chance of having a 1 more piece per boss. Or do like the later half of the raid gives plus 1 piece or something. Just like more loot to incentivize pre-nerf instead of post-nerf.
My Karazhan group on my Wednesday team, I at 30 am the youngest by like a decade. I have people in their 40s and 50s right in there. Some people in there could even be my dad. That's how old they are compared to me. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not, like, they all are great. I love going in there and doing it with them. I think that's one of the most beautiful things about World of Warcraft is you can range from, we actually have a guy in here who has his son raiding with us in the Saturday team. So we have a kid, and then we have someone who's like 60 years old, and just that wide scope of gaming and World of Warcraft specifically, I just love that it can bring people all from all ages, all ethnicities, all groups together to play just a game and hang out and talk and just have fun. I think it's just something that's completely magical, and you don't really see that anywhere else in life. But it is very true that the TBC player base is older. And then players as a whole like post-raid or post-nerf raids better. More people raid, more people have fun, and it's just better for the game to have full servers and an alive experience. There is a version of this game to be sweaty, and this is not it, and that's perfectly okay. This is the third time we're doing this expansion. Let's enjoy the ride. I could not say this any better. I fully, wholeheartedly agree with this person. This is a very excellently writ Excelsis. So if you see this video, I hope you do, and thank you for this post. I think this is a very well said thing. I sweated all of TBC 2021. Did it all pre-nerf. I went very hard. I had like 18 characters. All of my tailoring army that you saw me do mop, that's from TBC. So like I understand that, and now I'm doing my community guild and community project with the Saviors, and I see the gap in it, I see why people could struggle with it, and I see, even us, we're above average for sure, but even then, we still have our issues. Like, sometimes we can't even click the mag cube, and that to me blows my mind. I think we should be able to by now, but stuff happens, wipes happen, things like that happens. It's just an SSC and TK. If it's pre-nerf, those will happen a ton more, and I think it'll truly demoralize and kill this game. So I absolutely love this post. Now I want to go down here to one rebuttal. This is a very hostile rebuttal from Jackal Sniper, but I think it is very important to give the opposite opinion. Okay. He says, you people, as in the bottom quintile of the fan base, need to be shut down. This game is already so easy that there is no point of playing if you have an IQ higher than 85. Whereas if the game was made harder, skilled players and bad players could reap enjoyment from it. I think the data proves that statement to be wildly false. Go look at every time the game got harder on Ironforge Pro. The SSC TK drop-off lost 60,000 raiders in the first week. It goes from 404k to 340,000. We go over to Wrath of the Lich King and look at Ulduar. It's over 100k raiders just instantly plummeted from everyone having to do hard mode. So, like, that is just...
Kygo is absolutely right, by the way. So think about when Voldemort servers started popping off in the first place. That was when Ulduar came out back in the day, like OG Ulduar with OG hard modes. That is when things started to shift, and people wanted to have an even more casual way to raid. In Wrath Classic, the exact same thing happened. Roughly when did hardcore start popping off? Look at the engagement metrics when Ulduar came out and how many guilds were torn apart and where a bunch of those people left to. People don't want harder content. There's a small subset of people that do because they're good at the game, but they're good at Classic. They're good at a raid they have done for years and years and years and years and years. And the reason many of those people want the game to be hard is so they can flex on other people that they are good at the game and/or that other people are bad. I don't like that mindset. if TBC Anniversary has to be either post-nerf or pre-nerf because Blizzard is too lazy to give both, because they can absolutely give us both through the option that I just talked about, but they're choosing not to because that requires development, and right now they're probably working on something else, or they just don't want to work on exactly that. If we have to make a choice, I 100% believe, I think objectively, for absolutely everyone, or for a huge majority of the game, it's a much better choice to go for post-nerf than pre-nerf. For about 95% of the player base, it's a better choice. Possibly even more than 95 as well.
It's completely false, and it is definitely an opinion from him, but the numbers do not back this up. Even in classic World of Warcraft, MC and BWL are very popular in every version, no matter where it is at. When we hit AQ, where it actually gets hard, the population plummets. Every single instance that we have over 6.5 years of data show that the population plummets when the raids get hard. But I have a question. Why do all of you bad players feel inherently entitled to beat the hardest content of the game? Are you unable to have fun killing easier bosses and getting second bis loot and doing heroics? Why should skilled players get absolutely nothing to entertain themselves with simply because you believe the game should not have the content in it that you guys are unable to beat, even if the game already has lots of easier content and bosses to appease you guys? Why is it that important for you to kill every boss and get every piece of loot to the degree that the game simply cannot have hard things?
Yes. So basically what he's asking here is why should 95% of the player base be able to experience the full game instead of 5% being able to experience like the end bosses? Yes. Illidan. The boss you're fighting, the one on the cover of TBC when they're selling it, only 5% of the player base should be able to see that encounter. Yes. Yes. I love buying tickets to take a carousel, and just only 5% of people that buy the ticket are actually able to buy the carousel. And nobody told you that when you bought a ticket.
Your computer explode if you do not get full bis. I really don't understand this argument, and you can
Dude, this is an argument you shouldn't even talk about, by the way, Kago. Like, this person, he forgot to activate his brain this morning. Then, these are the comments you disregard.
defeat this very quickly by flipping it over.
Like, trash cans were invented for a reason, okay? I'm just saying.
Why do you feel entitled to have it on the hardest settings? Why do you feel entitled to get the best loot? Why does it have to be so hard for you? This is a 20-year-old game with everything figured out, being released for the third time. Most people are here because they probably didn't do it or they absolutely loved it. Those two people. So they've either done it before and they've seen it all pre-nerf both times around, or they haven't seen it at all and they just want to experience it, and this is a very accelerated thing. I personally, the obvious solution is something I've personally advocated for this entire time, has been a toggle system where you have the pre-nerf toggle and the post-nerf toggle, and the pre-nerf toggle rewards some cool cosmetic stuff like they did with SOD, and it could also drop more loot if we don't get any cosmetics, drop 1 to 2 more pieces, maybe have a higher chance to drop the sought after items like DST, stuff like that. I think that would be such a great solution for people like this who insist that it becomes hard. But for it to be it being hard does far more damage to the game than it being easy. Hard players can clear it on easy. Easy players cannot clear it on hard. And when the majority of the players are easy, as I mentioned before with the graphs of the 6.5 years of data that you guys can all pull up, I'll even put a link down below and you can look at it. I'll even tag the dates for you so you can see the drop-offs if you really need it that hard. But like it's a point I don't understand, because it's saying me over what's better for the WoW community.
But okay, the guy who made the post here that you're trying to argue with right now, number one, he has no logic, so you're trying to argue with him with logic when he doesn't understand what logic means. It's also this is a bully mindset. The way he seems to have fun is by depriving others of having fun and showing that he's better than them. Because basically, the mindset that he's showcasing in this post right here is that content should be hard, so only some people can do it. So the people that can do it can flex on the people that cannot, and apparently that's fun.
When we dissect the arguments of people like you, what it really comes down to is some anti-hierarchical video game communism. You think everybody who plays the game should be entitled to clear all of its content and obtain its items, and the games which restrict what you can achieve based on your skill are unjustified in doing so. Once we reduce your argument to absurdity, this becomes blatantly clear. You very evidently believe that video games should simply not have content which is unbeatable to any sizable percentage of the player base, all because you are unable to handle being mogged by other players. This all boils down to you having fragile egos. Furthermore, if every raid is easily clearable, you realize this means the loot
He really wrote mogged.
Loot and prestige from clearing them means absolutely nothing, right?
I hope he's like 19 years old, because then it's kind of okay. Otherwise... Bro. Can we stop this weird internet speak?
So, I just don't understand this mindset, because this is a 20-year-old game, right? That either new players are coming to...
This is somebody who said mogged and furthermore. Furthermore, thou shalt be mogged.
Because they missed it, or people have already done it before. I don't think there's that many in-between situations. And exactly what he says, you realize this loot and prestige from clearing them means nothing, right? One, it's all pixels anyway. It's a video game. It all means nothing. Two, it's a 20-year-old video game, so doing it when every single guide and every single strategy and every single add-on is already complete, and pretty much all you have to do is press a button when something pops on your screen and says to press this button and go here and do this. It's not hard, it's not prestigious. Trying to flex TBC anniversary rating as a high-level achievement is crazy to me. Yeah, if you want a game for challenge, you should seek out Dark Souls, you should seek out Mythic rating, you should seek out Heroic rating and MOP. Those are the games where that challenge is there. But frankly, even at its highest difficulty, pre-nerf, TBC isn't that in any way, shape, or form. So, like, I really don't understand that argument. I get what he is saying about that. Yes, there should be some sense of achievement, some sense of accomplishment, and I turn to my community for that, getting literally anyone, accepting anyone, having people who want to meet my requirements of being enchanted, consumed, and pressing your buttons. My requirement is that I ask is that you maintain a 50 parse, and a 50 parse is really, really easy to get, especially when I have people in my guild that try to sweat and go for 99 parses. So that's my bar. That's where, if you're below that, that's where I look to cut you.
That right there is a good bar, by the way. That when I was trying to go what I wanted to call medium core, like not hardcore, not soft core, just we tried to be a medium guild in Season of Discovery. Like at the start, in Phase 1 and Phase 2, we were just raiding, accepting literally everyone who wanted to join. I was hosting 8 raids per week, or per reset. Like, BFD reset twice per week as well, I believe. So I was raid leading 8 raids times 2 per week. So like 16 raids per week, and just bringing absolutely everybody. I think it was in Phase 3 we started going more... No, not super hard, but going a little bit harder, and I told people, so from now I want you to actually try. And we set clear requirements, which wasn't even hard. It was just like, be flasked, be consumed, and try to get a 50 parse. It started with try, and then I said 50 plus parse, or you're probably gonna get cut, right? I had the same requirement back then. Just because we wanted to, I don't know, improve a little bit. instead of just being super casual.
And I don't even cut you immediately. I sit down and talk to you. So that's my personal achievement there, is bringing these people up to a higher level and being able to complete it. That's where I get my fulfillment for. It just sounds like this guy is looking for something hard, and he's mad that TBC cannot provide that, because it really can't. Then he even comes here and continues, and he says, I cannot stress enough how absolutely frustrating it is that I had to quit this game after waiting with eager anticipation for a year because there's nothing to engage me. All because people who can't press more than 2 buttons at the same time cannot be content with only getting the second best items in the game and killing 80% of the bosses for leveraging their social skills to get carried, which is absolutely a game mechanic and an MMO. So this guy avidly comes out against it, goes on this monologue, is incredibly hostile, and he quits the game. If you quit the game, why are you here? Why are you on the forums? Why are you even talking about this? Why do you care what they do if you already quit the game? It doesn't affect you. I genuinely do not understand that type of mindset or that type of player. And it's why, like, and I hate when those opinions, like, obviously everyone should have an opinion, everyone should be able to say it, but I don't get why you're going to the forums where it's the most dedicated people, it's the people who care the most about the game, trying to talk to people and who also care about the game, because not many people go to the forums. That's why I think it's such a great spot for any of these discussion videos to pull from there and pull from other people's thoughts and opinions. But like I said, you guys got all my opinions with this. This video is already long enough, but I really genuinely believe with all my heart that this raid should be post-nerf, and if we go into pre-nerf, we are going to watch it tank, and I think it would tank to possibly below 100,000. That's how brutal I think it would be, and I really hope Blizzard looks at all their data, sees how we've handled pre-nerf heroics to draft from this compared to the raids, because people just aren't even doing heroics. I'm going to take a poll soon and see how many people are attuned to SSCTK and have done the heroics.
I will say real quick before he ends the video and does like the outro speech and stuff though, I don't know if the argument he just tried to make is why are you on the forums and complaining if you quit the game. If that was the argument he just tried to make, that if you've quit the game you shouldn't like be on the forums and talk, I think that's a bad counter argument, because like I think it's good if people say why they quit the game. Obviously, this, like, the guy who made the forum post has no idea anyway and is illogical as F. But in general, I think it's good for people to state why they're quitting the game. On the forums, in a YouTube video, I don't know, like, get the word out there to the community and to the, like, the developers as well, right? Telling why you quit can objectively be good for the game. In this case, like, once again, the forum post dude has no logic whatsoever, so, yeah, doesn't really make any difference, but I'm just saying, the argument of you've quit the game, therefore your opinion doesn't matter, I think it's a bad argument.
Have done the quest lines, because it will be important once we get it launched. And yeah, I'm kind of worried because I know a lot of people straight up just went into Kara and just went into Grow and Mag, and I just assume they're doing it, but I don't actually know, so we will see. But anyway, I truly hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know your thoughts, your feelings. Even if you disagree with me, tell me why you disagree with me. I love having intelligent, actual, real conversations about very important issues like this. So until next time, I'll see you later. Hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.
Alright, I'm gonna skip the outro, because the same outro. But yeah, that was a good video, by the way. Very good video, good discussion. I don't really like how much focus was put onto that one forum post, because like the forum post user was just weird anyway, but it is what it is. I don't know, like, I'm weird as well. It's just, yeah. I don't know, they didn't like anything about what that guy wrote in that post. Either way, that was a good video. Let me give you guys a link, and then we are going to get into some of the gold making, printing, or lack thereof. I don't know, like the gold making right now is not really doing that great, but we're trying our best, okay?